Saudi Arabia, ally or enemy? I sometimes call them frenemy.
For years, that question was asked in Washington, but only in private. Few would have predicted it being openly debated and on the floor of the U.S. Senate, no less. And now the Obama administration is warning that an already strained relationship is going to get much worse. The U.S. president is doing what he can to ease the tension, prepared to veto a bill that would allow victims of the 9/11 attacks to sue the kingdom under the guise of protecting Americans.
The United States government, U.S. service members, U.S. diplomats, and even potentially U.S. companies are at risk of being hauled into court in countries all around the world.
This is just the latest snub of Saudi Arabia from the U.S. Congress. 2 months ago, it released the so-called 28 pages, documents from an investigation that had been classified for a decade. Those papers traced a link between some Saudi diplomats and citizens and the hijackers before the attack. The Saudi government has denied it was involved. This week, the Senate voted on whether the U.S. should stop an arms sale to Saudi worth more than $1 billion. Proponents cited human rights concerns and the war in Yemen, which the U.S. is enabling.
We give them targets that they should stay away from because they are key parts of routes to bring humanitarian relief into a country that is ravaged by famine. And they still hit those targets, even after we've told them to stay away.
But Saudi supporters argue the U.S. needs the alliance to keep Iran in check.
They're destabilizing the entire region. The Saudi kingdom is not perfect, but they're aligned with us on the big issues when it comes to terrorism and pushing back against Iran.
That bill failed, but 27 senators from both parties voted to stop the arms deal. And the 9/11 bill will likely still become law because there is enough support in Congress to override the president's veto. Saudi Arabia has noticed this very visible shift, and in response has poured millions of dollars into the lobbyists that work on this street. At the same time, they've issued a warning, one senior official saying if the 9/11 bill becomes law, Saudi Arabia will sell hundreds of billions of dollars in U.S. treasuries and assets, a move that is unlikely to make them any more friends in Washington. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.